Okay, so again, I have people saying that my photos are AI. And so on one particular photo, I thought, hey, I'm going to go to where the photograph is, and I'm going to show that this is indeed a scanned image from the original glass negative. And in this case, I bought these negatives in December of 2020. And so I had only been collecting glass negatives for a year at this point. And I did not, at that point, I did not have a lot of negatives. If you look at this, it reads done. That means I have finished cleaning up these negatives. So I know I don't have to clean them again because I have so many negatives. I have cleaned up negatives more than one time. So I started, when I finish something, mark them as done. So the one is I had 2 orders from this eBay seller. And I believe they're both from the same photographer, but I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they're from the same photographer. But the JHK, JHWK, that is the eBay seller. So that's what that means. So let's go to the photograph in question. This is the photograph that is in question. And at least 3 people are saying this is an AI photograph. It is not an AI photograph. Okay, this is the scan from the original glass negative. It's pretty clean, actually. So there wasn't a ton of cleanup on it. But this is the scan before I cleaned it up, the raw scan. Okay, so this is the little boy who is writing at the desk. And this is Christmas Day, obviously, and the tree has a bunch of presents around it. So we can zoom in a little bit, zoom in, and you can see some of the gifts he got. And so here's the Golden Hours with Mother Goose book. Looks like edition 4. You got a toy dirigible below it and a little, looks like a little parachute guy. Here we have a rubber ball shooting gallery with accessories. The book Alice in Wonderland. And I have to look to see when that was released. This could be an early edition. Over here, the book Black Beauty. Look, his shoes are a little scuffed, which I find a little interesting. You'd think Christmas Day you would have them all polished. But here we have a toy truck. You have a baseball, a lamb. You also have a cabinet card here, a photo of the boy, and I'm sure it's the boy that's in the photograph. The tree has garland, and it has money tagged to the tree. Let me get back here. At the top, there's a bird. You can see there's a bird. I don't know what the cane is for. But yeah, this is the photograph in question, okay? People saying it's AI is just extraordinary to me because I just don't understand it. So I came to look for this, and I spent till 3 o'clock in the morning last night going down a rabbit hole. Because when I looked here, I looked at the other 7 negatives that I bought, the images that I bought at this time. And so I'm going to show you them, okay? Okay, this is from Fort Funston, which became Fort Riley in Kansas. The name at the top is Kelly. It's backwards, but it's Kelly. So I assume Kelly is the barber and not the person in the chair. What I came to find last night, because I noticed some writing on another picture, and I'm going to show it to you in a minute, was I found a lot more information about this photographer. And this particular photographer, there are over 30,000 images that he took that are in the Kansas City Library, their digital collection. So this photographer, whose name is Judd Pennell, took at least over 30,000 images, probably more. But a lot of them were of Fort Funston, or what is now Fort Riley, and either personnel, buildings, those kinds of things. He also took a lot of pictures of local folks and local events. And this is definitely a military barber shaving the person. Okay, so this, I kind of want to, I'm going to fast forward a bit. So this picture here is of Joseph Judd Pennell, the guy in the light suit. This is the gentleman. This is the photographer. The other gentleman's last name is Anderson. I don't know what his first name is. Obviously, we're friends. So he was born Joseph Pennell, and the reason I know that is because I looked again at the writing at the top, and it's Pennell and Anderson. So this is Pennell right here. So that made me realize I had a picture of the photographer for this 8 negatives that I had, but there's many, many more pictures in his collection. And I love this picture anyway. I just think it's such a fantastic picture. But the fact that this is the photographer was like, whoa, it makes it more special. So then I realized I didn't know who this was, but this is the same gentleman. This is Joseph Judd Pennell, okay? And on the negative, she's listed as Miss Clark. Miss Clark. I don't know who she is, okay? But I do know that this is his wife right here. This is his wife. And her name is Edith. And her name is Edith, and her maiden name was Stanley. So Edith Stanley Pennell. The little boy is their son, Joseph Judd Pennell, and his wife, Edith, son, Joseph Stanley Pennell. Now, oftentimes, the middle name of the child would be the mother's maiden name, and that's the case with this family. We know that the woman and the child are. Who the couple is I'm unsure of. It might be her parents, Thomas and Arminta, or it could be his parents, Julius Harrison and Annette. I'm not sure, but it's one of their parents. Which one it is, I'm not certain of. I never knew that about this picture until last night, because I wanted to show how these are not AI generated pictures. They definitely 100% are not. So he took some other pictures, and let me see. This is an interesting picture, and could one of these women be Edith? Maybe, I don't know. And the darker haired one possibly could be Miss Clark. I don't know. I don't know the relationship. Unknown who they are. But the one woman is dressed up in a uniform and has a fake mustache on, but it is a woman. This is an image taken at Fort Funston, and this was taken in the late 1800s. So this was when they were in the barracks. And I did find one other, I went through, I don't know if it was all 30,000, probably not, but I went through a lot of pictures last night trying to find other pictures that gave credence to the ones that I have. And there was another picture of some folks and some men in the barracks, which I found interesting. This is a parade photo. This might be Junction City, which is where they lived. I'm not 100% sure, but this is a parade picture. And he took a lot of pictures like this of events, certainly of the military base. And, I'm curious about this picture, if this might be, and I don't know. I don't want to assign anything to him because I don't know. I don't know if this is Joseph Stanley Pennell, who was their son and only child. Okay, so what happened with the Pennell family was in 1922, in April of 1922, Joseph Judd Pennell died of blood poisoning, some kind of infection, and he died from blood poisoning. His wife took over the photo studio for 1 year, at least 1 year after his death, and she ensured that her son was able to help take over some of the business assets. His will left $15,000, which at that time, 1922, is a lot of money. So they were well off. There were buildings in the town that were built for both his studio and other businesses that were Pennell buildings. So this gentleman was an entrepreneur who did really well. You come to his son. His son grew up to be an author, and he wrote a book that you can find on on Amazon. It's called The History of Rome, Hanks, and Kindred Matters. So you can still find this, but Joseph Stanley Pennell went on to become an author, a reporter, and he traveled around the country. He died in the state of Washington. The state of Oregon. I was kind of agitated that everybody kept saying, oh, this is AI, but in hindsight, I wouldn't have discovered all this other story behind the photographer, and I'm kind of grateful in a way that you all made me take a second look, because when I was first starting out, I went from having just maybe 100 in the first year to I'm now at 22,800 just of the glass natives. So when I was first starting out, I didn't know a lot of things. I didn't research as well as I'm able to do now. I just was glad, actually, that I was able to take a second look at these images and to discover more about the images. So very thankful for that. And it's a great story. And the best thing about his legacy is that his son donated those 30,000 plus negatives to the Kansas University Library. So they most of them are labeled. I'm talking who they are and when they were taken. So that's pretty incredible that happened, and thankfully the son was able to make sure that these were maintained for history's sake. And so exciting stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I was up till 3 o'clock last night, just researching and trying to find out more about the family and the story behind the photographer. I would love to think that this picture in particular is Joseph Stanley Pennell, but I don't know that for sure. In any case, I hope this quells some of the AI drama around some of these pictures, but I assure you 100% these are not AI generated. Hope this is enjoyable and that you find this as interesting as I do.